Hello guys, welcome back to Go Discs for the I can say like the next step of the what was it ranking Doctor Who Modern Doctor Who actually, and I'm just talking about the current series, well the series that's gone past actually at this point actually on 2021, which is Doctor Who Series 13 on Doctor Who Flux, 6-part series, and it's the last series to be held by Chris Chibnall as a writer and Richard John Whittaker as the Doctor. There was the 22 specials coming out actually. At this point, Eve of the Dark has come out. Legend of the Sea Devils hasn't come out yet. So this is when I'm recording this video. So there we go. I'll probably get around to doing the specials at some point. Maybe when they finish. Who knows really. We'll see. So where do we begin the series? So it's instead of 10 episodes, it's 6. And it's just one story over 6 parts. So it's basically like returning back to the classic era, really. And it's actually a bit of a refreshing change, serialized, because obviously television works these days. One story spread over like how many parts, really, 4 or 5 parts, really. So it seems natural it does, and obviously it's quite interesting that Doctor's never actually done that since it was revived in 2005, really. Maybe briefly in series 10, but not much really, but until on this grand scale, really. Reason being because of COVID, really. That's all restricted because I think the original plan for Series 13 was to be like standard series, like 11 and 12, really. Because I know people like Ed Hine was originally writing the series, maybe Pete Mattig, Vinny Patel, Peru returned, and also we've got someone called Ella Road coming in who's probably doing the upcoming special. Maybe I don't know if she was might have been brought in for the original Series 13, really. Don't know actually. Maybe. And Maxine Alton as well, actually. Even though she stayed on co-writing one episode, which we'll get to at that one point. So obviously that sort of spun everything around. The whole television landscape changed really, and obviously they had to adapt to what was going on. So simplified down to like 6 episodes, and fair enough. I wasn't disappointed really. I mean, the last time we had like a short series was like series 7, the first part in 2012 with which is 5 episodes, which I would say is another best run ever. Really, the best run of stories, in my opinion. Never is really. I look back, that's a bit shit, really. And I think this is much better. It's more, you have a bit more keys to stories. It's a bit like what you get in the 60s, really. You probably sit to the narrative of the story, but you also like maybe a couple of episodes that probably derail from the story itself, maybe a little bit. We'll get to that eventually, actually. So, yeah, let's go through it. So, obviously, we've got Jodie Whittaker returning as Doctor and Amanda Gill as Yaz. We've also got a new companion in John Bishop as Dan Lewis, Plaster from Liverpool, of course. So, they actually use Liverpool quite a bit in the series, actually, which I'm surprised, actually. Pretty good stuff. I've been to Liverpool before, actually, maybe a couple of years actually before. Maybe I think before they commenced filming, actually. So this would have been like during the summer, I think, like in between lockdowns or whatnot. I've been down to Liverpool. I did probably mention a few live streams back there, actually. I think. So yeah, that was something. And we'll also introduce some new recurring characters as well. In the course, we got Calvinista played by Craig Ells. Very good, very Chewbacca-esque, really, but one of the best characters actually in terms of character wise. But say it's interesting, despite the cheap people from Survival, it does. But it's very nicely done actually. I mean, for his dialogue and also how he's portrayed, how Craig Ells portrays him, really good stuff. You get Kevin McNally, who plays Professor Augustus Jericho, who appears in the 4th installment, Chapter 4. Pretty good as well. He appeared in Doctor Who before, actually, back in the 80s in the Twin Dilemma, if you've ever seen that. Some people probably know his reputation, of course, but he appears in there. Blake Harrison's in it. Not briefly, actually. I'll probably get to his stuff earlier on. Jimmy Redgrave returns as Kate Stewart for the last 2 installments, I think. And I don't know. It feels like there's like a bit of wasted opportunity with her character when she was introduced back, and also through Moffat's tenure towards Ennis Smith's tenure and through Dave Capaldi's tenure as well. I don't know. It's never utilised and how written not so good she had been actually. So she seems like still very underdeveloped, really, which I think we need to. That needs to be more utilised. I think their character. If they did another series of the Doctor being exiled to Earth and have her as a main character, you know, have the modern equivalent to Nicholas Courtney, that would have been interesting, make it develop more interesting really. But unfortunately, I don't know. She doesn't really feel fleshed out really. Unfortunately, who else have we got? The Grand Serpent, Craig Parkinson, great actor. Not really good. Well, that's a villain, and a villain that's been sort of, you know, has interesting powers, of course, into, you know, getting like serpent coming out people. That's really good stuff, very good deaths. But I just don't know. You feel like some, again, it's a bit like in a muddled story, really. I think you probably know where this might go, actually. And he just never, you know, Craig Parsons great actor, but the Grand Serpent, you know, it's not very much you. I didn't really get much out of it really in terms of that character. Yeah, it looks like a business, like someone's gonna be like sister business really. When you first knew, when you get introduced him through Vinder's point of perspective through his story, past story, and not through results that really. I'll probably get to that in a bit when we get to the Vanquishers, of course. Yeah. I think speaking of Binder, we've got Jacob Aston as well. Not really the best, of course. He got Bell as well, bit pathetic, Graham. I don't know. They're not the best characters I was really interested in seeing, actually. I mean, they were hyping him up, actually. It's like some serious character. It's not really, you know, it's just some random bloke who's just gets caught up in it, sort of, really. Yeah. Yeah, Barbara Flynn as Tatum, fantastic. I mean, Barbara Flynn's really great. Anything if you put her in anything, she's great, fantastic. You know, I know from Cracker really as Coltrane's wife at the time, and obviously, I think more recently, I think, you know, some people my sort of age, maybe a bit older than me, probably know from Joshua Jones. Really, that Bond Films TV series, of course, playing all female characters. Probably know from there. But she looks great. She looks fantastic. I always see it as like she could be a very good idea for an incarnation of the Doctor. I think she might be a really good choice of being a Doctor. You never know. You know, something about her. There's something really about her that's sort of interesting. You know, obviously that probably never happened really, unless the Doctor James takes the place of her mother's face. I don't know. You know, obviously she's been much of history. Of course, when we get to her, you know, survivors of the Flux, really. So yeah, anything else to mention? Not really. Let's get into the stories, of course. So we've got there's 6 stories to go through that Arlen's Priest release, actually. Short video. Chapter 1, the Halloween Apocalypse, all sets everything up, really. This gaseous thing called the Flux is destroying every planet, which is actually an interesting concept, really. You know, it's a bit like, again, it's like a massive destruction. I think I've seen that might have been used in films before. I'm not too sure. It does look familiar though. Like it's like this cosmic entity is just destroying planets wherever you go. It's like lava, just ruining everything. Just burning villages down. That sort of thing. Worlds down. It's just like that, really. Fantastic. You get little glimpses of a couple of little, you know, little what do you call it? Planets being destroyed and people and aliens and whatnot running away, getting killed. Really, really good. You know, we set up the Sontarans, the Weeping Angels. They return. They do. Get Dan Lewis. We set up his backstory, of course, with Diane as well, and all this sort of thing. And Carvanista, of course, stealing him, of course, because they're plucking humans off Earth. They are just to stop them from the Flux, really, and all sorts, really. But it's a decent opera. It sort of sets the mood. It does, keeps up what to go, really. I can't know how to say really, but it's a decent opera. It is. Episode 2 of Chapter 2, we've got War of Sontarans. We've got a fully fledged Sontaran story, probably since 2008, believe it or not, since the Sontaran strategy in the Poison Sky. And obviously, the Sontarans are much better here, really. They've gone from what you expect the Sontarans to be from the classic era. Very armoured, you know, where's, again, good armour, good costume, of course, and some and some of the makeup mistakes on that are pretty decent, you know. They're not stupid war monks. I think since what Moffat did, really with the Tyrants, they've really become a running joke, really. Become idiots. You've probably seen Time of the Doctor as well, actually, in some regards, but here, Chibnall brings them back to basics, and really good stuff. And one of the highlights of, you know, it's one of the more highlights episodes of Flux, or Series 13, whatever you call it. Just really good. Look, great location filming of the Crimean War, which we've never seen a Doctor episode do actually until now. Actually, so we get Mary Siegel as well. Just fantastic visuals, like as well. Good direction as well. Fantastic. You know, you do get, and obviously the plot kicks in. We also get like people like Azure and what's his name? Oh, box. The two main people, of course, who've probably been imprisoned in the dark times. Really, I forgot the names now. I know Azure is one of them. That's the sister, isn't it? Very sort of Cenobite-esque look to them, which I do like, and they are sinister actually. And you probably think, you probably go down like a Clive Barker Hellraiser route. That would have been interesting actually, but a sci-fi child, family-friendly Hellraiser. There we go. Well, you never know these days. Something can happen. It can be slapped by PG-13 on it. But War Sontarans are fantastic. It does lead up to like other stuff really. Involving this temple that they're in really, and it's sort of again it's sort of the same again. It sort of flips back and forth. That's something that we know. It sort of kicks. I mean, it's part of a whole non-story arc, yes. And we've got the villains, of course. We've got these little bits and pieces that's all going on, and obviously, Dan returns back to Liverpool, facing some Sontarans with a walk, and his parents as well. That's a nice little thing, actually. And they'll also be brutal as well. The Sontarans, they are brutal in this one. Good humour, and the guy, what's his name, Jonathan Watson, I think he is. He plays the commander in this. Really good stuff. Dan Stark returns as well. I'd probably say he's more better in this. I mean, he's probably better since Sometimes Strash and Poison Sky, really. His best performance, and then it's Strax, and that's when, less, well, try not to forget Strax, don't we? We do our best. But there we go. But it's really good, fantastic. I mean, that's a highlight of Flux. That is. Chapter 3, Once Upon a Time. We get into this like weird trippy time storm thing. We do, of course. So we see what the Doctor had done prior, like in the fugitive times. We don't see, with the fugitive Doctor, Joe Martin, whatever. Good incarnation, good actress, really good. You don't see you only see little glimpses of her throughout the story. You see Whittaker in like a reverse coat, of course. Again, COVID restrictions would probably be that sort of thing, really. Other than that, you probably just replace you just have something that's solely focused on John Martin's Doctor. Again, that'd probably be interesting. It would have been more fascinating, really. And what we got, so you would have people like what's his face? Lee from Future June, Stu, and also Calvin Easter as well, actually involved. So who knows what it would have been actually. It does go into like all these like trippy things, of course. We have seen Weeping Angels in a family apartment in Sheffield playing a video game while we were a sister, and this other stuff. You'll get glimpses of the Grand Serpent as well through Vinder's perspective, him being exiled into the little ship thing at the beginning of Apocalypse, Halloween Apocalypse. I think it's Apocalypse now, it's Halloween Apocalypse. Yeah, so we get introduced to him one morning later. And yeah, I mean, visually it's interesting. I have to give it that. Interesting direction. Story-wise, I just don't know. I think it needed more Joe Martin. That's what it is. I think that's why it does go for that sort of thing. But obviously, maybe limitations, cover restrictions, or something like that, because it was filmed during like latter half of 2020. So what can you do? And maybe early than that, really early 2021 as well. So who knows? I can't say much about it really. I would say it's one of the. I think out of the six, really, it's one of the weaker ones, really, for us. Really, I think because it's very plot heavy, it's it sort of derails it a little bit, and it's a bit. It's been like, I don't know. But thankfully, we got chapter 4, Village of the Angels, co-written by Maxine Appleton. This is fun. This is really good. So set in a little village in 967. We also get introduced to Claire as well, who's probably introduced in Halloween Apocalypse, and she gets taken by an angel in the first part. We see her now in this little one on the sort of, I guess we call on the experiments or testing of Professor Augustus Jericho, played by Cameron Manelli. He's really good, fantastic. You know, you really get a sense of it. Very, you know, compared to maybe like in Twin Dilemma, of course. Maybe I think this one's more suited for him. Obviously, he's more older now, but it works. His performance in this really works. It's really good. I mean, Stuff the Angels, again, freak stuff actually. I think it's the first time they've really done, I think it's like nearly 10 years since the last one, Angels Take Manhattan, again from Series 7, 2012. And yeah, again, really good freak actually. And it just works really. None of this sort of time, you know, like what I think Angels Take Manhattan is probably the last straw really, but Virgin the Angels really definitely takes them back to basics. You know, if you like Blink and Flesh and Stone, Time of Angels, Flesh and Stone, this is pretty good. I'll probably skip Angels Take Manhattan. Really, you know, I'll probably say it's better. I'd probably say this and Time of Angels, Flesh and Stone are probably the best Weeping Angels stories. Then you got Blink, then you got Angels Take Manhattan. There we go. Really good visuals. Intense is. Problem is, you always get cut to Belle and Blake Harrison's character, really, and that sort of derails the story as well. Like in the whole thing involving Passenger and, you know, Azure and that sort of stuff. Yeah, it just falls flat. And also, you get that post-credit sequence that comes out of the tile sequence, really. Like, you know, it sort of burns away, and it's like, oh, we got more of them too. It's like, well, no, not really. I was more interested in the theme actually because there's no baseline in the theme when the Doctor gets recalled and turns into an angel at the end of 4. Great cliffhanger. Same with the one at Halloween Apocalypse. You know, I always want to know how the universe ends, what the universe ended, well, how it looked or something really. Great cliffhanger. At the end of Halloween Apocalypse, and Village of the Angels as well definitely brings on the cliffhangers. The other two not really the best really, I would say. You know, it's like, you know, like just cheap cliffhangers really. I think they couldn't really think of anything to really think of really. But there we go. Really. But again, Village of the Angels, really good stuff. And the whole thing about like them going back into the past, like in 1906 or something, or 1907 really. You know, again the Angels looking for a girl called Peggy, and they sort of see her at this end of this like little time bridge or this little gap in time, and you see like, oh that's her, but years later, like she's been waited, or again taken back in time, of course, and stuff like the couples as well, and some of the like the Reverend as well being picked off as well, you know, taking out time and actually being into stone really. That's pretty interesting, I would say. You know, they don't move really. You just see them again stay still. Really good, pretty good stuff actually. Do enjoy that. Not necessarily rich, but I think that's another highlight of Flux. This one was Sontarans. So we get into the last two, and this all fall. It sort of takes a little nosedive, I think, really, and there we go. Survivors of the Flux. You get this glow popping thing you do involving Dan, Yaz, and Jericho. Really, I do like the scene actually when they go to see that mountaineering or that mountain monk or whatever. Just telling like the family answer. It's actually a pretty funny scene actually. But about a dog. I do think that's pretty funny actually. Taeyeon returns, of course, this time played with Barbara Flynn. Really good stuff, actually. You know, really good performance by her. Fantastic. Also getting Ood as well, return. People say like a stone Ood because of how big his eyes are and everything, you know, but nice to see them again, actually. Pretty good. I don't know. But you also get K2 as well. I don't know. It feels like there's a lot more stuff coming in to the story, and it's like, really. It does date up like why Unit was sort of not around or was sort of discontinued. If you look at Revolution, really, it sort of picks up ties like what actually happened within Unit, of course. And obviously, Stuart goes rogue anyway. I don't know. It's just nothing really to it, of course. And also, you get to see how Unit was formed as well, which again brings up the whole Unit dating thing, of course, like the whole dating controversy and stuff like that. Nice to see Robert Bathurst actually, and they do use a small clip of like Nicholas Courtney, something like from Web of Fear or something. in the background, I think. Something like that, really. And I just don't know. I just don't know, really. It's a bit, again, confusing mess, really. But it was nice seeing Robert Bathurst. It's a shame that he gets killed, actually. Would have seen quite a bit more of him, actually. You know, unless he comes out, pops out town, pops out all those little tunnels, the Williamson tunnels or something like that, and just, you know, joins in the battle. I don't know. Who knows? Again, Williamson is another character that sort of reappears through the series, really. I just don't know. And again, probably a little weak one, really. I don't know. And then you get the Vanquishers, which is the final one. Also involves the Grand Serpents, the Sontarans, involving invading corner shots, which I find pretty funny, actually. I do think that's funny, interesting. Stealing the sugar supplies like little corner shops in cities, whatever. That's pretty funny, I do think. A lot of people are sort of turned off by that. It's like, you know, that's a stupid idea. Yeah, you have to have a bit of fun now and again, really. The whole thing with the Grand Serpent, I really just don't feel like it's a bit of a waste of opportunity. I think there should be more to it, really. Instead, they literally take it for a door and he plonks himself and lets him sit on a bloody asteroid in outer space. Wait, what? I mean, that's like how to get rid of a character. You just walk through a door, a door leads to him somewhere in space, and he sits on an asteroid, imprisoned on that thing. It's like, it just reminds me of like that Stanley post-credit thing from Guardians of the Galaxy. He talks to the elders in the spacesuit, and they don't want to hear him. Really, at the same time as talking. It just reminds me of that, really. Yeah. I just don't know. And also time as well. We can choose the time as well. Who's basically like the mirror of the Doctor, really. Gets rid of stuff. Swarm and Zero. That's it. And basically gets rid of them, really. So yeah. Yeah, I can't really think of else. And also, again, it's like it's sort of goes like Planet of the Dead for it. It's like, you know, like your time will come and that sort of thing. Again, it's like, matching Planet of the Youth, it's like your song will be ending. It's like that. It sort of comes like that, really, towards, you know, your time will come, really. And it's like, you know, it's foreshadowing everything else, really. Obviously, we got the news maybe beforehand that they were leaving, and obviously they say, you know, there could be a few, you know, free 22 specials being scattered around, really, just to finish off the era. So they're going. Then Russell T Davies comes back for, you know, for the 60th anniversary, and what this new version of his, you know, the next step is, what's to come, really, you know, this Mark II era. So there we go. I just don't know. I just felt a bit underwhelming, really. It's an underwhelming finale, but like disappointment, really. You thought it'd be like big. Darks and Simon come back briefly, they do, and obviously get sucked up, like, you know, again, so get cheated and also get sucked into by the flux they do, and also it gets what was it? It's like a Deus Ex Machina, and it's sucked into some weird machine they do. It's like, boop, all sorted. It's like, oh. Again, that's frustrating that sometimes, you know. It's, again, Deus Ex Machina. It's like, you know, oh, we can just press a button, get this thing, we'll suck it in there, like, you know, and leave it in whatever, or let it go into freeze in the amount of space or whatever. It's like, really, I just don't know. It just leaves underwhelming, really. So, and that's it, really, about Flux, really. That's all I can say about that, really. It's got good points to it, of course, but it has a bit of disappointment because it's hampered by story, really. I mean, how to stop a cosmic entity from destroying the universe? Again, it's like, use the Deus Machina. What else can you do, really? It's like, really, I thought it'd be leading to some really interesting stuff, really. Obviously, Kevin Riley's character Jericho dies in Vanquishers. Of course, he sacrifices himself. Also, gets trapped on some tyrant ship, really, but ends up getting blown up. That's about it, really. I just don't know. But I don't know. It does seem a bit like, again, disappointing, really. I think it's like with any finales with this sort of, you know, the Battle of Vanskov Colossus, you know, essentially Simon and Time's children, really. Again, it sort of follows that little pattern, really. Like, you know, but I just don't know. It's just felt underwhelming, really. Underwhelming finale, really. All this build up and that just leads up there, really. It's like, yeah, okay. Very organised Flux. That's Flux, Series 13 from 2021. They kind of think it was like it could be from 2022, but no, we're going from 20. You know, rather than following a pattern, we've got this little short series, of course we did, and obviously we've got the 3 specials, the trilogy to go on from next. So obviously, Eve of the Darks has come out on New Year's Eve. So Legend of Sea Devils is next. That's going on the 17th of April. This is before actually. So this is, I've been to the 4th of April and recording this. So it won't be out until not next week, the week after. So actually no, it'll be next week. It'll be coming out. So there we go. Then we got the Centenary special, which actually I think Eve of the Darks and Legend of Sea Devils were a part of the whole block thing for Series 13 or Flux really. So they were attached on really, and obviously that was meant to be because their last story, the Legend of Sea Devils, but obviously the Centenary special comes more because the BBC sort of requested it really, I think like that, or give them a special because obviously with the pandemic and everything else, so they attach one special so they can just go right. We can wrap up the era with this sort of thing. Don't know what's going to be though. We don't know. So we know we've seen Eve of the Daleks. We sort of know what to expect from Legend of Sea Devils, Chinese pirates and sea devils and stuff, which just looks fantastic. They look great. They do. Really good. Centenary special, we don't even know. We have no idea what it's going to be. We'll get a nice little trailer to see what happens. A little sneak peek, really, at like a first look thing at the end. See what happens. Probably get like we might get a massive trailer or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. So that's it. Flux. To put this, I really don't know. Maybe. I could probably say I can slot it between 11 and 12. So that's basically the Chibnall Whittaker like in one go, like somewhere in the middle, really. I'll probably say I put Series 13 in the middle. I will. And yeah. I would say that, Series 12 is probably the high mark because it's got good stories in it, really. Some interesting ideas, interesting stuff, really. I do think with Flux, really, there's some good stories in it. The whole story thing, it's sort of like, where do you go with it? And also lead to different places they do, of course. And it has like a bit of a underwhelming Deus Ex Machina end to it, really. So there we go. Oh yeah, time will just like turn into dust or something like that. There we go. I've got enough else to say. So thank you guys for watching. I've been reviewing Doctor Who Flux or Series 13 from 2021 for Go Discs, obviously. And as always, I'll see you for the next video. See you guys.